Great. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hopefully everyone had some lunch. You've enjoyed catching up with your peers, the community, the ecosystem. We just had a fantastic morning of insights and, to quote Jacqueline, friendship. It's just nice to see you all back together. So, as you heard from me this morning, James Mawson, founder and CEO of Global Corporate Venture, and I've got the great honour and privilege of introducing some people who have done some amazing work, not just over the past 2 years, but in many cases the past 2 decades, to think about professional development for this community. How do we take forward the industry to new heights? So I won't say too much, but if you think about global corporate venturing, the news, who does what, enables us to collect the data about the 6,000 plus corporates that invested directly in startups over the past dozen years. But by collecting the data, we're able to do 2 things. We're able to improve the analysis and the feedback from the reports, but we're also able to work out who's good and invite them to this event, which is all of you here. And we've heard from many of these leaders earlier today. We're going to hear from 2 more shortly. But those leaders then start to share their best practices, why they're good, how they think about the maturation, what they needed to do to change from the beginning through to the middle towards the 10-year plus track record. And so now, we've been able to codify this through the GCVI Institute. So I will sort of say thank you for the team. We should have some slides coming. And the team have done a great job to pull together this insights from this community by the CVCs for you all as CVCs. And so I want to say a special thanks to Jimmy Gunnell, he should be around, and Liz Arrington as the sort of co-managing directors. Liz is also the co-founder. She wrote, along with myself and Heidi Mason, the Corporate Venture and Survival Guide book back in 2019. And Liz, as the head of the Institute, has been working with Patty, Lee, Paul Morris, Mark, and Annette to think about how we create the programs and how we develop it on. So I'll now be more quiet and I'll welcome to the stage. So please join me in welcoming Liz Arrington. Wonderful. Great.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Liz Arrington, the MD of the GCVI Institute, and I'm really excited to where we've been able to come over the last 2 years. The program started out as an offshoot of work that Jim and Heidi and I had done together to write Corporate Venturing, a Survival Guide. And in that process, we consistently heard 2 messages from the community. The first, I think a number of you have echoed this morning, was that while corporations believe at the executive and the board level that CVC has a key role to play in innovation strategy, at the same time, for the most part, companies don't understand how CVC works and more importantly, the role that they should play in ensuring that the impact is delivered. And the second key message that we heard was that the high bar for professionalism has been raised. Over the past 10 years, CVC has increasingly been recognized as an impactful and important player in the VC ecosystem. And people felt it was important that not only that we be able to cement these gains, but that we ensure that new entrants understand what this high bar is and be able to play by the rules of the game. So as a result, we decided to set up the Institute with a mission of industry advancement, staying power, and impact. And we targeted 3 key activities as being core to that mission: professional development, benchmarking, and the establishment of communities of practice across the different roles in the CVC organization. And we started with professional development as being the low-hanging fruit. And over 2 years, we have established a foundational learning management system and platform. We've developed a curriculum that addresses all of the key parties that are critical to delivering impact. So our programming addresses not only the CVC team, both the investors and the portfolio development people, but is also designed to help inform and engage the key parent stakeholders that are so critical to making these programs impactful. And we've had good feedback that the instructional model that we design works. We've on average received a score of 4.1 out of 5 on every course that we have delivered. And we've heard consistently that people like the combination of the self-paced delivery of models and frameworks and tools and resources with expert input from other CVCs who can speak to how those concepts apply in their own context, and the opportunity for people in peer cohorts to compare and contrast their own experiences. Thus far, we've had, in 2 years, we've run 30 courses. We've had nearly 400 participants in the courses for more than 100 different programs. And while it's a very valuable resource, or proven to be a very valuable resource for new programs wanting to understand how to meet this new high bar, we've also seen that nearly 40% of our participants are from established programs who are looking both to onboard new team members, as well as particularly those that are interested in looking at building the portfolio development or the corporate venture business development capability, or looking at addressing hot topics. And the other interesting piece is we've had a significant participation from the ecosystem. So we have people representing other parts of the VC ecosystem who want to understand how CVCs work and how they can engage with them more impactfully. And at the heart of our program really is the input from the community. And our motto is we operate by CVCs for CVCs. So from the very beginning, when we established the Institute Advisory Board, we've had any number of experts stepping up and contributing their collective wisdom, their advice, their insights in providing expert videos, serving on panels, serving as mentors in the Landing the Value of Corporate Venturing program. And importantly, they've also been contributing their high potential startups. So these are programs who understand, or startups who understand how to work with CVCs and are prepared to come in and tell the truth about what works and what doesn't work. So we hope all of you will continue to engage with us and enable us to make sure that we're really at the leading edge and understand the latest of what's going on. And what's been fun for us, in every one of these courses, we have learned something new. And we have found that the panelists have learned something new from one another. So everyone comes away with huge value out of the process. Well, doesn't seem to be. Whoop. Okay. Whoop. Sorry about that. Sensitive. Okay, although the most frequently conducted course that we run is CVC investment programs. But we find that the one that actually has the most impact or potentially adds the most value is a course that we call Landing the Value of Corporate Venturing. And in these days, when we're all talking about the slowing down of investment and about the need to be able to, as corporates, add that unique value in supporting the portfolio and ensuring that the value is delivered to the parent, this course is all about that. It's a pod-based course, a deep dive, that's really focused on how do you build and institutionalize impactful corporate venture business development or portfolio development programs. And typically the participants are multi-function pods from corporations that may have a critical mass portfolio, say 10 or 15 companies, or in some cases it may be new companies that are looking at building the roadmap and at preparing for the future. And what's particularly impactful about this program is it has a theory piece up front for sort of setting the context and the stage, but it also includes a mentored challenge project. So the teams have an opportunity to pick a challenge or an opportunity that could move the needle for their program, and to apply the learnings from the course and to be assigned a mentor from another leading program. And we have thought-leading mentors from Merck, from InQtel, from Intel Capital, from Allstate. So any number of people that are on board with us to provide unique value to the participants in the course. And I'll touch really quickly, in addition to the programs the educational programs, the other component that we're developing is a CVC operational and performance benchmarking platform. So the idea is for us to be able to provide reference points to you for operational and strategic planning, as well as to be able to ensure that we're up to date with the latest and the greatest in the courses. And Jim mentioned this morning, we've launched a public CVC directory, but we're also in the process of developing an operational and performance benchmarking platform that is going to allow us to answer those hard "it depends" questions. that you're often going to be asked by your parent stakeholders. So understanding, if you're asked about fund size, what are the factors that you need to understand to be able to determine what's the right fund size? Or if you're 3 to 4 years in and you're facing a management change, then what does that mean with respect to how you might evolve your program, the legal structure, the operating structure, the team structure? So we're set up to be able to take industry aggregate data from GCV and then be able to filter it and make it context specific for your particular needs. So what I'd like to do now, since we are running a little short on time, I'd like to introduce Lee Sessions, who is the guru of our expert program, and then he'll ask a couple of our leading IAB members to say a few words.
Thanks, Liz. Okay. And actually, I'm going to just go ahead and have Bill and Austin join me here because we're going to try to pass the mic very quickly. So first of all, big hats off to the 13 people who were part of our original Institute Advisory Board. They really provided that guidance and leadership and role modeling and support to kick it off and to get it started, helped us seed the initial case studies, the initial mentoring, the initial experts in the courses and so on. But as we scaled up, we quickly realized that we needed to add to the to our bench in terms of the people who could participate as experts. And as Liz just showed, there's close to 200 different roles that have been played by about 80 some odd people. Many people have participated many times throughout the year. And what I wanted to do is just call on a couple people who are in that community of experts. We have I've been working to kind of formalize that program, to have a regular cadence of scheduled meetings. Most of our panels are 35 minutes, live online, call in by phone. So it's a very efficient use of the panelist time, but it's also an incredibly valuable use of a discussion topic for the participants to interact live in the moment and get frank, direct answers to all of the questions that they have that come up when guys like these behind me talk about their experience and the lessons learned, many of them very difficult lessons over a longer period of time. So I'm going to ask them to each come up and speak for a minute or two about their experience and what they got out of the Institute as experts and by sending their people through the courses and so on. So first, I'll call on Bill Taranto from Merck, and after that, Austin from Sony.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I was very fortunate to be asked, and my colleague Dave Stevenson, very early on by Patty and Liz, to talk about what this institute could be. And we were very involved at the beginning around just the concept of the institute and what it could be to our industry. And over time, it got to the point where we then were asked to provide not only content, but mentorship and expert videos and really try to make the Institute have the type of content that would be valuable to others. And I get asked the question, a lot of times, well, why are we as an experienced CVC interested in the Institute? The primary reason is that even as an experienced institute, we're all about learning. And this provides a platform for all CVCs to learn from other CVCs, because we don't know everything. Even though we're a lot of experience, we continue to learn from our other corporate leaders within the industry. And this provides a wonderful platform and curriculum for you to have this continuing education. We've recently we hired some new folks on our team and recently sent them through, and they had an absolute wonderful experience. And I can tell you, both Dave Stevens and I, just by participating, have actually learned some new things that we didn't know before. And so I'm up here today is to actually encourage you, no matter what stage VC you are, the Institute can provide a wonderful platform for you to continue your education. And especially if you're a newer VC, this is probably one of the best places you can go to learn everything you needed to know about starting a corporate venture firm and what it means to be a successful venture firm over time. So that's what I encourage all of you to do, is to reach out to Patty and Liz and actually explore how you can get involved, not only from a mentorship perspective, providing content, but participate in the program. And one thing I'm real excited also is the upcoming operational benchmarking initiative that they're launching that I'm looking to learn more about and participate in as well. So again, I'm hopeful that all of you will participate going forward. Thank you.
So just like Bill, I was involved in the Institute right from the beginning, with Patty and Liz and the others. With all the experience that we had over the years at Sony, going through different versions of CVCs, I think it was very encouraging that they were trying to formalize and institutionalize the way training should be done, particularly for the junior folks who come in. So, we also have folks coming in from outside who have not been in the CVC program, have not been in the corporate, but having this mechanism to kind of do the strategic aspect of it and a financial aspect of it, whether they come as investment bankers or from market research firms, is very good. We ourselves have put a few of the newer folks through the institute in the past. A few of them also participated in the beta program right in the beginning when they had launched it for be able to do it. So overall, I think the value, and me personally have been involved in quite a few panels and being mentors for a few of the candidates there. So I think in a mechanism where we who have been in the industry for a longer time be able to give back to the community through a program which is more of a formalized program is pretty interesting, whether you just come in as a panelist or send some of your folks to the Institute. So good luck to the Institute, and hopefully take it for the staying power for the CVC programs.
Great, thank you. So we'll just kind of final note is Mark and Paul and Patty and Liz and I, along with Jimmy and many of our other experts, are here. So feel free to approach us over the next couple of days. We're really excited about building a stronger network and a stronger community to support one another in advancing the very best practices of corporate venture. So should I go? You want me to do the last slide? Okay. So and then last but not least is. We also have the CVC directory and the benchmarking initiative. So I think this is all here. That kind of mostly said it, but come talk to us. The conversations are really important. We learn. We also want to understand what are the challenges that you're seeing, so that we can start to get ahead of them. So thank you very much.
Be able to find most of the team there as required. But just before we move on to the rest of the program, we've got a great session all this afternoon. I did want to do a quick shout out to Maya Palmer, who's our new senior editor, joined us after 20 years at the FT. So welcome to Maya. So if you've got a story to tell, if you've got something you want to talk about, through the sort of GCV, Global Corporate Venturing, or the sister titles, Global University Venturing and Global Impact Venturing, do reach out to Maya and her team. She's got a large staff coming on board and be able to help out. So back to the rest of the program, and let me say thank you to you all. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.